Would you like to go outside?
Sasha's like, I'm gonna go roll in the dirt again just to spite you.
You would. I'm gonna go shit and roll in it. Clean me off again, bitch. Hey, it's Megan.
And Sue in the restricted section.
And today we are going to be doing our September wrap-up.
Yep.
Yes. And we are also going to be drinking this Freaky Deaky Belgian Triple.
Which came from Texas.
Tejas.
Oak Highlands Brewery in Dallas, Texas.
Cheers.
Cheers. I really like this one. I think it's pretty good. Belgian beer. What do you call those? Belgian ale?
Belgian ale.
First brewed by the Trappist monks in Belgium.
I love the,
Oh, I didn't even notice that. The picture is like a monk getting freaky deaky.
It's got like a little, showing some leg there. I love it.
Yeah, I didn't notice that when I was drinking this
There's
before.
some handcuffs on there.
Yeah, this is 10% alcohol by volume, and so was that Sasquatch one that we just drank before this,
So,
we're getting turned on Sunday.
Go big or go home is what I say.
The first book, we both finished this in September, right?
Yep.
The first book that we both finished is We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson.
Yes, and this was for our book club.
Yes, and we did a live show where we discussed this, so you can go watch that if you want. It's almost an hour long.
So
and we go on a lot of side things.
Lots of tangents there.
But I think we both really liked this.
I liked it, yeah.
I gave it 4 stars.
I did too.
It was very like subtly creepy and delightful.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. The next book that I finished was Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. And this is the first book of like a, I don't know, what is it called when there's only 2?
Duology?
A duology? I like it. And it's a post-apocalyptic book about this girl who kind of starts to forge her own religious beliefs and tries to kind of start her own religion in this really like post-apocalyptic story or society. And her family is like really traditionally religious, and so it's difficult for her to express that her beliefs about God differ. Also, this post-apocalyptic world is incredibly bleak, and there's a lot of violence. The book was sometimes really hard to read because there is cannibalism and rape and child rape and just a lot of crazy shit in there. But it was really good. It was a good book. Octavia Butler knows how to bring it, but she does not hold back. Not even a little bit.
And that was for Sci-Fi September, right?
It was, yeah.
So the next book I finished was for the Stephen King 70th anniversary readathon, and I read Misery. This is, of course, about a man who's a writer, and he crashes his car, and next thing he knows, he's waking up in this house with this crazy lady who's taking care of him and also holding him hostage, and then she forces him to write a book for her about this character named Misery, which is like his most famous character that he's written about.
I remember when that happened to me once. It was really hard.
Yeah. But the first half of this book I didn't think was that great. It was okay, but I wasn't enjoying it that much. And then the second half got pretty fucking good.
Okay.
So I think overall I gave it like 3.5 stars. But yeah, the first half was a little boring. I also did not enjoy, there was like large portions of this book that he was writing. And I didn't give a shit about that. So I didn't enjoy those parts at all. But then the second half got like real nuts.
Real crazy.
So I enjoyed that a lot more. But it was pretty good. Definitely a better place to start with Stephen King than The Gunslinger, which is where I attempted to start the first time.
That's fair. The last book that I finished in September was A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. This is the sequel to A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, which I loved, and I gave 5 stars. This book was really good, but I didn't enjoy it as much as the first one. I gave it 4 stars still, so like it's still a really good book. And I still, like, when I finished reading it, like I still found myself like wanting more. I think I just really love this like universe that Becky Chambers has built, and I love like all the different races and all the different cultures, and I just really like it. So even after 2 books, like I'm still kind of just wanting more of this. But yeah, this was about a couple of the, I don't know if you can really call them, yeah, I guess you could call them side characters from the first book. They weren't really like main crew members.
One of them
kind of was. But yeah, so it's kind of about some of the other characters in the first novel. They go off and do their own thing, so I don't want to spoil it. But I really loved it.
And then the last book that I finished, yes, out of my very ambitious September TBR, I only finished 3 books. And none of them were for Sci-Fi September, so I 100% failed at Sci-Fi September. But the last book I finished was A Circle of Children by Mary McCracken. And this was my book club's pick for September. Otherwise, I probably would not have read it because it's just not something I was super interested in. And I do think it is kind of part of the reason that I didn't get that much read this month, because it really was kind of boring. The first like 75 pages of it, I wasn't really into it, and I didn't want to pick it up, so it kind of like bogged me down a little bit. And then I read the last like 100 pages in one night because it was the night before book club. I was like, I gotta read this book. So I read the last like 3/4 of it in one night, and it actually got more interesting. But this is it's a nonfiction book about this woman's experience teaching emotionally disturbed children. And this was the book was published in the 70s, I believe. And so it was back in like maybe the 60s or 70s when she was doing this. And I found the parts where she was actually talking about the children interesting, but she also talks somewhat about her personal life, but it's like things that don't seem to matter at all. Like she talks about there's this other male teacher that works there, and she and he kind of like become close, and they even have like they teach their class, they merge their class and like teach together at one point, and there's like this flirtation between them as well. And then literally nothing comes of it. And I was like, what was the fucking point of even including all of that flirtation and stuff between you if it had no point at all? And there was also a lot of stuff in here that like I was like, holy crap, you could not do that these days.
Never.
Like she's trying to potty train these kids, which they're like, 8 years old. They should be potty trained at this point, but they have issues and haven't done it yet. But she's like, I know they're capable of it, but she's trying to figure out, like, she's like, they just need to be shown how to do it. So she just urinates in front of them. She takes them to the bathroom and is like, here's how you pee on a toilet. Drops trout and pees in front of her kids. And she also, like, there at one point, her and Dan, this male teacher, take the kids on like this hike up a mountain, and they lose one of the kids for like a whole day. They don't know where this kid is. He's on a mountain, lost. Could have drowned in a stream for all they knew.
Eaten by a
and then they weren't fired. Like it was just fine. Like, oh, we found him, thank God.
That rascal.
That was the end of that situation. Like she talked nothing at all about like any consequences of it, which, it was kind of like there wasn't a whole lot of people working with kids with, these emotionally disturbed children at that time, I think. So, they probably weren't gonna just fire a teacher.
Right, but still, I mean, if you lose a kid, that's kind of a big deal.
So I did find the book, like parts of it were pretty interesting, but parts of it I was like, I don't know, like it was kind of underwhelming overall. So I gave it 3 stars, I believe, because it wasn't terrible, but I was just kind of like, it was aight.
So yeah, I think we both had fairly ambitious TBRs for September. And we both just read 3 books.
Yeah.
So,
Oops, I was supposed to finish The Two Towers as well, which I've got most of it finished, but I'm buddy reading that with Jessica and Christina at Game of Tomes, and I know Jessica and I are both behind. Like, neither one of us has finished it. I'm not sure if Christina has yet or not. She was more on par.
on top of it.
Yeah, than me and Jessica were, but...
Yeah, I'm like 140 something pages into The Year of the Flood by Margaret Atwood, which I was supposed to finish in September, but I have not. So, what do you?
So, you know, September was a busy, stressful month. So,
Truth.
what are you gonna do?
What do
Maybe
you do?
October will be better. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Lots of Halloween plans.
Yes.
So we'll see.
Lots of spooky books.
Spooky books.
Spooky books.
Or scary. Or scary.
So, this beer, I like it.
I like
it's
it.
good. I'm not
Yeah.
like Belgian ales aren't usually my favorites,
Mine
but
neither.
this one's pretty good.
Yeah, I like this one. I would drink it again.
Let us know how'd your September go,
Would you get read?
reading wise or
Yeah.
otherwise.
Yeah,
And if you've read any of these books we talked about, let us know what you thought of them.
definitely.
Yep.
And as usual, there'll be some links down below where you can find us elsewhere in social media.
And if you have not subscribed yet, please do.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.